Week 4 of the fantasy football season, and here's a few quarterbacks I looked at off the wire this week. The first quarterback, Sam Darnold of the Minnesota Vikings. So Sam Darnold's come out of nowhere this season, where it was him and J.J. McCarthy in training camp battling for a starting job. Then McCarthy went down with season-ending knee surgery, and the first 3 weeks, Darnold's come in, and he's taken this offense by storm, and he's put up points. Week 1 at the Giants, 208 pass yards, 2 touchdowns, and interception. Week 2 versus the Niners, 268 pass yards, 2 touchdowns, and INT, 32 rush yards. And then Week 3 versus Houston, 181 pass yards and 4 touchdowns. So, versus 2 good defenses in San Francisco in Week 2 and the Houston Texans in Week 3, Darnold went out there and he put up big numbers versus good defenses. I know the next couple matchups are tough. Week 4 going at Lambeau Field, and Week 5 versus the New York Jets, the team he got drafted by many seasons ago. But he's putting up numbers. He's got one of the best, if not the best, wide receiver in all pro football in Justin Jefferson. And he's fitting this system well, and Darnold knows this is one of his last chances to have an opportunity to get a big-time contract and pretty much stay in the league, because he's been a backup and a journeyman over the last few seasons. Right now, available in 71% of fantasy leagues. I know, tough schedule coming up, but quarterback's been a very bad position to start the season. If you could find anyone who's got any type of decency, you give him an ad this week. The next quarterback, Aaron Rodgers of the New York Jets. Aaron Rodgers available in 50% of fantasy leagues, and the cutoff obviously for this list is 50% or less, adding these players off the wires. It's 2 weeks. Rodgers has picked it up. Week 2 with Tennessee, 176 pass yards, 2 touchdowns in that one. In Week 3 on Thursday night versus the Patriots, 281 pass yards, 2 touchdowns, and he actually showed some running ability, 18 rush yards in that one. So Week 4, decent matchup versus the Denver Broncos, even though we just saw Denver shut down Tampa Bay's offense in Week 3. But Aaron Rodgers is a veteran. He's been through all the ball games and all the big matchups, and the Jets got good weapons. Breece Hall, Garrett Wilson, Braylon Allen out of the backfield, Tyler Conklin. They finally got involved with this New York Jet team in Week 3. So Aaron Rodgers with a decent matchup coming up, and we know he's a veteran quarterback that, as long as he stays healthy, could put up some decent numbers. He's an ad this week. The next ad, Justin Fields of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Justin Fields, he's taken that starter job and ran with it. Russell Wilson was out. The only thing with Fields, he's not running for a lot of yards anymore. He's more of a pocket passer in this Pittsburgh Steelers Arthur Smith offense. So the last 2 games for Fields, Week 2 with Denver, 117 pass yards, a touchdown, 27 rush yards. In Week 3 versus the Chargers, 245 pass yards, a touchdown, an INT, 6 rush yards with a rushing touchdown. So like I said, his rushing ability's definitely gone the other way this season is Justin Fields, where Pittsburgh wants him in the pocket, throwing more, and he's definitely improved in the pocket, and he's got not great weapons, but some players that can make plays. George Pickens, obviously a talented wide receiver. Pat Freiermuth, I think, is an underrated tight end, and Calvin Austin emerged in this one in Week 3 versus the Chargers with a big ball game, over 90 yards, and found the end zone. So right now, Fields, he took the job from Russell Wilson before he had a chance to get on the field because of injury. And he's a quarterback that we know he's got running upside, even though he hasn't shown it this season. And he's available in 84% of fantasy league. Final quarterback I looked at off the wall is Andy Dalton of the Carolina Panthers. Andy Dalton, he's a veteran quarterback in this league. He knows he just wants to play some football and not really be a backup. And the opportunity came in for him with the Carolina Panthers in Week 3. And he put on a monster performance at the Raiders. 319 pass yards, 3 touchdowns in this one. So this Panther offense, they don't have the greatest of weapons, but they got some guys who could go out there and make plays. Adam Thielen and Deontay Johnson finally had the breakout game as a Carolina Panther. Xavier Leggett and Chuba Hubbard with a monster performance out of the backfield. So like I've said in other videos, Andy Dalton, he's a gunslinger. He's going to throw his interceptions, but also he's going to drive that football down the field, and he's going to get yards, and he makes all these players better. With Bryce Young, no one did anything on this Panther offense, and then they go out there in Week 3 and score 36 points. So Andy Dalton in deeper leagues is more of an ad, available in 96% of fantasy leagues. So that's a few quarterbacks I looked at off the wire at a weak position so far this season for Week 4 of the fantasy football season.